Okay guys, so we're back at it this week. Y'all remember where we left off on Sunday Funday right there. Nothing's changed. But she's so close, right? All we gotta do is cut them two back pieces out on either side, drop the top on, and then decide if I like the height or not. If I don't like it, I can come down a little more. But I think I'm gonna be quite happy with 2.5. Like I said, that car might get sold. 2.5, you know it's been chopped. If someone's taller going to get in it, they got room, it'll be cool. So, this little 37 Ford here has come into us, like I said, for a few little things. Mike is on it today. He's got some belts there and doing the gear oil and plugs and all sorts of stuff. Well, the list is right here. What do we got? What do we got here? We got exhaust hanger, oil and lube, e-brake adjustment, engine dipstick, new belts and plugs, diff fluid, electrical switch on the fan, tranny seal, trunk latch, overflow jug. Just a little tidy up job is all. That's all. So that's all good. That is perfect. So a gentleman got a hold of me and sent me a picture, and from way back in the day when this car was built. And it was built, what did he say here? Let me look. He said he was there when they were actually doing the chop on this car. Let's see what he has to say about this car. It's always neat to hear the history on this. So he says, here's a picture. I don't know if you can see it on my phone. There it is there, black with flames. And he says, picture from a long time ago. And pictures at least 40 years ago. I remember going to the body shop where they were chopping it. It was in Winnipeg, was built in Winnipeg. And he says, I'm going to try and contact some of the old cronies to see if they have pictures of it. Now, isn't that cool? Now, the gentleman that owned it here, his name was Carl, and unfortunately he passed away. And anyway, before he passed away, he got everything in line, and he sold the car, and my friend Gino bought it. Well, Bruno, but we call him Gino. He bought it, and he's only had it for a couple weeks now, and then he brought it to me and said, hey, Rick, just give it the once over, and that's what we're doing. But it's kind of cool to know this car was built back in Winnipeg and back 40-some years ago. That's really neat. It's, I like stuff like that. That kind of, just, oh my God. Now it makes you look at this car differently. Like, you look at this car, and maybe some of you are like that Granny Smith apple green and that, and you might think, oh, that's not for me, and that, but now you have to look at it where 40 years ago plus this car was chopped in flat black with flames on it. It's an old survivor. They're all survivors if we keep them going. It's just everybody does their own taste of what they want to do with it. Maybe the next guy after Gino's done with his car will rub it down with a brick and do it flat black again. Who knows? But that's what's cool. It's cool to know the history of cars, right? So anyway, I'm not working today. It's Monday. I'm just giving you a heads up what's going on Monday. I'm out in the shop here real quick. Sean's working away on the 55 Chevy pickup cab. He's just plugging away here. He's getting her all sanded up. He's in there somewhere. Oh yeah, there he is, laying down on the job again. Laying down on the job. You see that? Oh yeah. He's getting her all prepped up. So they're just, he's getting all the inside done because we're going to be painting the inside soon, which I better get some paint codes and order some paint. But yeah, we're just moving along on this one because this truck has to have the front end on it, the engine and tranny in it, not the box, because we have to take it to our wiring guy the middle of May. So we're like 4 weeks away. So we got the push on, but that's okay. That means we got lots of work to do. We like lots of work. Yeah. Okay, so that's going on.
I think it was a good move getting on this and just getting it done, right?
Yeah, just get it done.
I mean, it's minimal primer.
Yeah.
And then, 400 and maybe a scratch or 6.
That's right. Out the door.
Yeah. No.
Move on to the next one. Yeah.
These out pretty soon.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're between the hinges.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll figure that out when they're off.
Yeah.
But they're all drilled, they all line up, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And No, I didn't drill them in there. I wasn't worried about in there because it can only go, yeah, it's all good.
Oh, it fit great.
Yeah, perfect.
Tomorrow we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay, I'll let you continue. Just got that, and what I also got to do is tomorrow here I got to figure out a quote on this one. I'm waiting for a fender. Inner fenders are here, all painted done, but I'm waiting for the outer fender. Then we'll put that on. This gentleman wants to get a price on painting the whole thing compared to just painting the bottom half. So we'll see where that goes. And the Model A, I picked up some parts for the Model A today actually. So I had to grab a muffler and some pipe, and I had to grab the headlight bar and stuff like that. So now that I got that stuff, we can get back onto the Model A. Probably not this week, but next week. And again, the Chevy pickup is out there, or the GMC. We got to get that back in. I went and got the tranny. So we have to shorten the drive shaft, obviously. So to shorten the drive shaft, I needed a yoke for the drive shaft. So I had to run into, I ran into Abbey Spring today, and they all know me there, so luckily they just give me a yoke for now, because they're going to make the drive shaft, shorten it. They gave me a yoke right here, slip yoke. So that's going to, you put that in your transmission, and you usually pull it back an inch to no more than maybe like an inch and a quarter. Some people go inch and a half, but anyway, you definitely got to pull it back an inch to an inch and a quarter, but we'll say inch and a half just to make people happy. And then you measure from center U-joint to center U-joint. Then you take your drive shaft and you say center to center, this is what I need taken out of it, right? So, and then they'll put this yoke on the drive shaft they're going to do, but I couldn't give a measurement because I didn't have a yoke. So now I got that, so I had to run to Abbey Spring to get that. Now I got to jam that in there tomorrow, get a measurement, and then run back to Abbey Spring with the drive shaft, get them to shorten it, and then go back again to Abbey Spring to get the drive shaft. Yeah, okay. And the running boards are getting painted. We're going to be painting those up actually tonight. We're painting the running boards tonight, Monday night. I won't be filming that. They're over in the booth. They're getting painted. That'll get done tonight. I'll bring those home probably. I'll just leave them there for tomorrow, but I'll bring them home Wednesday morning. We'll put those on Wednesday, and boom, that truck's out of here Wednesday, because it has to go, because I am gone Thursday. And you're going to see some cool stuff. I'm going to post some cool stuff for you guys for Thursday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'll post some cool stuff, because I ain't here for Sunday Funday. Yeah. And that's about all we got to show you right now. You remember the Honda parts. They're coming to pick up the Honda parts here tomorrow. They're going to go. The gentleman with the Harley fender, I'm going to set this camera down and get hold of him right now and tell him his fender's all done. Get him out the door. And yeah, things are going good. So I'm going to shut this camera off for today. Like I say, it's Monday. I don't work Monday. I'm going to go relax on the deck. And then I'm going to be out here Tuesday at 10 a.m. because I never show up to 10 because I go to the gym in the morning. All right, so got to stay healthy at my age. Got to go to the gym every day, hour and a half. Get on the gym, Larry. I know you're watching. Get off the sofa and get to the gym. Don't be a Larry. Okay, guys, so here you have it. So the running boards were black before. Owner just wanted them sprayed green to match his truck. Now, we didn't know the color, so we had Fortins do a scan on the truck. They scan it with a machine, and then they send me a sample of the paint. I do it on a spray out card. I get the owner to come in, make sure it matches, and when it matches like that, you spray it. So there we go. So that side's done, and we replaced a couple carbon gaskets. No big deal there. One of those replaced. Who wants to hear a done up little flathead run? Let's see if it'll start. This is a hopped up little flathead with a 6-speed in it. Or is it a 5-speed? 5-speed, sorry. My mistake. I think this engine's probably around, I don't know, 200 horse. Listen to that. Just purring like a kitten. 12-volt wiring, electric fuel pump, dual exhaust, like I say, 5-speed, factory diff, factory drum brakes all the way around. Yeah, neat little truck. Very, very cool. Very cool. So, anyway, another job out the door. Just going to print up the bill now and get this one gone until we see Terry again for something else. Okay guys, so today we're back onto the 72 Chev pickup, which has been here for over a year, but the gentleman's just taking his time, which we did a frame off on, which you can see slammed right in between these two vehicles. Anyway, we've got an original box side, no rust, but the typical thing that people do, because it's an old work truck, which, hey, I remember doing this to trucks I had. Drill holes, always drilling holes to put things in, right? Probably had a canopy on there, to be honest. Anyway, we're going to weld those holes up. But other than that, this is a pretty good box side. If you look at it, there's no rust, a few dings. Really nice shape. And of course, I can't know if you can see here, we've blasted all the underside. No rust in there. Nice and clean. Nice and clean. So, yeah, we'll get on to start welding those up, and then we'll, maybe I'll take you over there and show you the truck itself. And Sean, he's working on, he's got the 55 cab all masked up. He's going to be getting the final primer on it where it needs it. He's also got all the inside. He's working away on that, getting that all ready for paint. Then he's got the 62 Chevy pickup. What do we want to call this? Cowl, thank you. My mind's all over. And then he's working on the 62 Chevy door. We had done a little welding in here, so he's fixing that up. So that's what's happening here at his end today. Busy, busy. All right. Okay, we'll go do some welding, and Sean will be doing some priming soon. Maybe we'll get a few shots of that while we're at it. Okay, so we got the box all welded up, and now we're on to the 62 Chev pickup truck. All over the place. This is why I don't film during the day on weekdays, because I'm just all over the place, and it's hard for me to do, for me to make more money even on these videos, and for you guys to be more interested during the week. I'd have to stay focused on one thing like I do on Sunday Funday. Today we're going to chop the top of the Model A, but during the week I can't do that when I'm running a shop and I'm working. Like, I'm not sitting behind the desk even though it's my shop. I am working with everyone else. So, like I said, we went and we we welded up the holes that were drilled in here. Alright, there's the back side. You can see it's all blasted, no rust. And now, look at this. There's an old patch, how they did it in the day. So they would just braze a patch right over top of the rust. And that's why the door would sit way out. And I was showing that one, if you remember, when I was doing the bodywork on the 62 over there, I was showing how the door was sticking out from the rocker there, but even here, and I said I wasn't worried about it because I knew this was happening here. So anyway, we're going to do a lower door skin here. Obviously you cut it off, you fix the inners first, then you put your skin on. So we're going to do that. The gentleman was just here, the owner, good guy. He never noticed that one side had the chrome and the other side never did. So he said, well, let's get the other let's get the other emblem and let's put it here and let's weld up that antenna hole. Not many people run an antenna anymore, so we're going to try and get that welded up here next. And then we're going to go on to maybe getting some of this stuff off the firewall. I just asked him about all the wiring because it's old wiring, and you got to be very careful with old wiring and mark it all and take your time taking it off because it's very brittle over the years, right? Cracks very easily. But he said, hey, I'm an electrician. If I wire houses and buildings, I can wire a car. So just unplug it all, put it in a box neatly for me, and just leave the wiring out. So that's fine with me. So I'm gonna try and get some of this off of here maybe today too. We got a lot planned for a day where it's already 1:30. Anyway, let's keep the ball rolling. Okay, we got that door stripped down good enough for now until the door skin arrives, which should be hopefully pretty soon. And we've got the antenna hole welded up. Now I'm going to go get a socket and take this emblem off. And I talked to the owner, and like I said, he said drill the holes for the new ones, so I just ordered a set of those online. They weren't too bad. I can't remember how much they were, but they weren't bad. They were under 100 anyway, which is good to me nowadays. Can't even get a bag of groceries at a grocery store for $100. Yeah, so we'll get that off of there, and then we'll move on to the firewall on the 62, taking parts off there. And Sean's just getting prepared here to start priming pretty quick. He's going away and going to town on that. Soon the priming will begin. Okay, so Sean's priming away here. Final primer. 55, that's it. Looking pretty good. And then the 62, ooh, stinky in here. The 62 Chevy pickup door. That's its primer on the inside. You remember, I don't know if I posted a picture, but it was all rotten here. I replaced all that. Looks good now. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, well, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to shut this camera off because my eyes are watering and get the hell out. Okay, and Mike's got the green machine done, except the only problem is, like anything, this thing's really funky with the way the belts are on here. You can tell that part of it was built back in the day, lots of homemade brackets. It's to the point where if you want to put a belt on, you got to take a million things off, if that makes sense. But anyway, we're all done. We started up, and of course, the one belt's just squawking like mad. And it don't matter how much you tighten it, it's just squawking. So we're going to try a different belt in the morning. Unfortunately, I thought the car was going to go out for the customer today, which is fine. It didn't, but it's squawking, and you can't leave it like that. But you know what the sad thing is? Is that the belts that were on it were perfectly fine, but the customer said, put new belts on it. Should have never put belts on it. Should have just gave him a new belt in the trunk and said, when it breaks, you put the new belt on. But anyway, that happens sometimes. That's what goes on. So now, like I say, we got to pull it back off in the morning and just try a different belt, because it doesn't matter whether you loosen it, tighten it, it won't stop squawking. Doesn't matter. Oh well. Hey, it's always a good time at Old Time. Stay tuned for all my reels and shorts I'm going to be posting for my little trip I'm taking this weekend. I'm going to show you lots of cool stuff, I hope. I'll try and get it posted up for you Monday, not Sunday. If it is up Sunday, you're lucky, but I don't think it will be because I ain't home Sunday. But I'll try my best to get it up for you on Monday. But I will be taking, like I say, reels and clips and posting pictures throughout my weekend. So write some cool shit in. I want to hear from you guys. I'm bringing all you guys along with me. So keep me company. When I post something, write something. Hell yeah. Catch you next time.